Welcome back to the 305 Gridiron. In today's show, we're talking all about the initial 53-man roster. That's right, last Tuesday was cut day. On Monday, we made our predictions. On Tuesday, all the cut happened. Here we are on Thursday to tell you all about it. We're going to talk about the cuts we're bummed about, the initial 53-man surprises, strengths and weaknesses of this roster at this point in time, and the other teams' cuts that we are keeping an eye on. So, hope you have a drink, because this might be a long one. We'll see you in a sec. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the 305 Gridiron, where we are once again talking Miami Dolphins football. I'm really excited about tonight's show, Josh, because we're talking new uniforms.
Let's do it.
Wait. But there's one other thing first we have to talk about before then. We have a special guest joining us on the show today. His name is Dirk, but on the interwebs, he goes by Frozen Fin Fan. This man is super popular amongst Josh and I because he gave us a platform to come on his show. Steadily growing within the Dolphins community. Welcome to the 305 Gridiron for the first time. Frozen Fin Fan, here he is. What's up, buddy? I gotta unmute you though. It won't let me. You have to unmute yourself.
Done.
There we go.
I did it.
There he is.
I found it. Stupid buttons.
Buttons are the worst.
How's it going? Good to see you guys.
Hey, what's up, buddy? Thanks for joining the show, brother.
No problem. Anytime, any chance to talk Dolphins football, it's all good with me.
Absolutely. Last time we were on your show, we had a blast, hoping that tonight will be equally as fun, and I think it will. Because the first topic of tonight's show, I forget exact name of these uniforms, by the way. I have the rivalry
uniforms,
yeah.
I think is what it is.
So we got to talk about these rivalry uniforms because these things are fire, dude. Miami went with the all black with the orange and the teal accents on it. These things look absolutely amazing. I know that like they've been talking about this and teasing this for a while. It's the AFC East, and I think the NFC West are doing it.
Yep.
We are going to wear them on September 29th, I believe is the date, against the Jets.
Yeah.
So Dolphins, Jets, both wearing rivalry uniforms. What better way to get even more into Dolphins and Jets football?
Yeah, I don't know are they black or are they like dark navy?
I think they're really dark blue, but they look,
Yeah.
I mean, to
They
most
do
people's
look black.
eyes, they look black.
But yeah, no, they're fire. I definitely will be owning one and or many of those. They are clean as hell, and the matte helmet is such a good look.
Yeah, Dirk, you said the name is Deep Waters is the name of the jerseys.
Deep Waters.
Yep.
There you go.
Deep Waters.
Dirk, we are not professional. Just interrupt and chime in, buddy.
I like the fact that there's no emblem on the jersey.
Yeah.
I think it's like almost like a throwback, but a new one at the same time. Like I'm stoked. I'm gonna go ahead and fork over $190 for a Chop Robinson one.
Nice.
They're so cool.
Nice.
I don't know who I'm getting, and I don't normally buy jerseys, but I feel like this is just a must buy at this point. I
might get a custom one and have the 305 Gridiron on.
Oh, that would be cool.
That's a good idea.
The guys that are advertised on the Miami Dolphins website are Jordan Brooks, Patrick Paul, Jalen Phillips, Zach Sealer, Tua, of course. Tua with a bun, by the way, which is actually a pretty good look for him.
Yeah, it was.
And then Bradley Chubb are the 6 Dolphins that are kind of given the spotlight on the website to show off the uniforms. Really, the best uniform design they've done in a while. And I have one of the orange ones that's still not hanging on my wall. Even I was meant to hang that thing forever ago, but I got an orange merino one from way back in the day. Yeah, you got that Ted Ginn one? Who is that?
Don't do it. Shame on you.
I did. It's Ted Ginn, and it's autographed, and it's got his rookie card.
It's worth nothing.
It's Ted Ginn rookie card.
It's worth $6.
He paid 12.
When he came out into the league, I was so stoked. And then in that Jets game, when he had the 2 kickoff returns back to back,
I was at
for
that
touchdowns.
Game.
Oh my goodness! I was like, "Oh, this is the dude!" And then
that was the highlight of his career. It was the 2 95 plus yard kickoff returns.
Let me tell you, I was at that game. sitting in the end zone, pretty low, right? This was maybe my first or second Meadowlands game I went to. And we did not score a single offensive touchdown. We had a defensive touchdown and 2 kick returns for a touchdown, and then some field goals. Jets fans were so butthurt about losing that game, dude. They're just walking up the stairs with the biggest puss faces. They're yelling at Dolphins fans left and right. I'm like, what? I mean, I don't really go to the stadium often, but
I mean, we fair to the Jets. So
I remember that the NFL Tonight after that game was over, where Chris Berman was doing the recap, and he said, "And it turns out the Dolphins didn't even have to bring their offense to play this game and win it."
The worst part was the Jets ran for 200 yards on us that game.
They sure did.
Yeah.
Yep. Who was their quarterback? Was it Sanchez?
I think it was Sanchez. That was the Rex Ryan era. Yeah.
Yeah, it was Sanchez it was Sanchez. I almost said Testaverde. Yeah.
So that's what made it even better, is because the Rex Ryan era, that team was actually pretty good. They made an AFC championship game. So to beat them in that fashion was awesome.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Oh, man. All right, so go to MiamiDolphins.com and check it out. It's all over the homepage. You can't miss it. It's called the Rivalries Collection. They're called Deep Waters. Thank you to Dirk for that.
So good looking.
And they will be worn September 29th at Hard Rock Stadium against the New York Jets. Cannot wait for that one. Because I think all of the Rivalries uniforms are pretty cool, in my opinion.
They are. I mean, I'm not I don't like to blow positive vibes over to the Pats, but their rivalry jerseys are sick, dude.
They
it's
look
like
good.
that steel blue, light steel blue.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh man, I thought the Patriots one was hot garbage.
Oh, really?
I made a post about it and everything, saying how I liked the Jets one because it had a Batman feel to it, and I liked the Bills because it was solid white and they're gonna disappear in a snow game.
Yeah.
And then I was like, but the Patriots is hot garbage.
Oh.
Truthfully, the Bills kind of look like a college football team in theirs. It's an all white with silver numbers with a blue outline.
Very Oregon.
Very GQ. Yeah.
They're going for the snow and ice look there. And Dirk's point, if they are playing in snow, you are not going to be able to see these players.
Yeah, I don't think that'll be allowed.
There's a 0% chance. Somebody will end up getting killed because they'll get hit by somebody they couldn't see.
Yep.
Absolutely insane. Let us know what you think of the jerseys, everybody, because I mean, like you heard, Dirk didn't like the Patriots ones. Josh and I did. Dolphins ones were the best. Dolphins and I think the Seahawks, I think, were the two best for me. I think
like the 49ers one. It's pretty.
The only one that I actually hated completely is I'm actually an Arizona native, and then I moved to Alaska. Yeah. That's where I am now. But I'm from Arizona. I used to go to Cardinals games when I was a kid and stuff, and their uniforms, their rivalry jerseys are
hot garbage.
I hate them so much. I hate them so much. It's like splattered paint on their white jerseys. It is so stupid.
It's like they know that their team doesn't get dirty very often because they're not very good. So they threw dirt on the jerseys for them. I think that's what the look they're going for there.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
It's pretty rough.
Interesting choice. But I will say, I think even with that dumpster fire of a jersey, I think this is the best collection Nike has put together since they've taken over the jerseys. I mean, and it's I don't think it's particularly close.
Interesting that the 49ers went for a Western movie kind of font on the thing, but then it's a pitch black jersey. That doesn't really match. And gold details. It was the Rams, by the way, that I liked, not the Seahawks, the Rams one. So.
Oh yeah,
the Rams are good too. Yeah,
sweet deal to them. All right, should we talk Dolphins football instead of Dolphins jerseys?
Maybe.
All right. So on Tuesday, it was cut down day from 90 to 53. If you've been living under a rock for the past few years, there used to be multiple cut down days, but I think 1 or 2 years ago, the NFL said this is a stupid thing. Why are we doing multiple cut down days? Let's just do one. So the rosters go from 90 to 53 in a single day. It is by far the most emotional day for many players in the NFL.
Over 1,000 players get cut.
Over 1,000 players get cut on Tuesday. So
crazy.
It was nuts. We made our predictions on Monday as to who we thought was going to cut. We hit on a few. We missed on a lot. So let's talk about the cuts that we were the most bummed about. And since we have a guest, I suppose I will let him go first.
Okay. Players that I was really kind of bummed about.
Yeah.
I was bummed about a couple of these guys. fortunately, they came back.
Sweet.
So the first one that I was just totally bummed about was I wrote it down. Theo Weiss getting cut, and I was worried that he wasn't going to make it back off of waivers, but he did. So I'm happy about that because I was really upset. That was we had such a stacked wide receiver room that I just knew we were going to lose somebody that I just felt like we really shouldn't lose, and Theo Weiss was that guy for me.
Same.
He has the size, the hands, the attitude. I mean, it's everything you want. It's just I understood why they cut him because of the other players we had, but I'm glad that he wound up coming back. As far as it goes, the only other one that really kind of bummed me out a little bit was Grayson Murphy getting let go. That was another one. We're so stacked that we had to let him go, and he signed, I think, with Jacksonville. Is that right?
He did. Yeah. Jacksonville snagged him and
Conma.
Conma.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, like 9 hours ago, Omar Kelly said that Grayson Murphy still hadn't been signed. So he just got signed within the past 8 to 9 hours, which is pretty crazy. Grayson Murphy was mine easily. I thought he put up such good film in this preseason. At least, I mean, like people will say he was going against nobodies, but who do you expect him to do? That's who they put him against. I mean, I thought he did a really good job. And pass rushers are kind of hard to come by, so I'm a little surprised he didn't get stashed on the practice squad sooner. But maybe that was his choice. Maybe he was offered a practice squad position and he didn't want to be here. I don't know why he would want that, but you definitely see players who get offered practice squad positions and say no. They want to look for other opportunities. So I thought I wasn't ever really worried about Theo Weiss because I thought that like there's enough wide receivers that get cut this time of year that he should slide through the waiver.
You were right.
Wire thing. I was.
Yeah, nailed it.
I was. And then I think the only other like major one for me was Derek McClendon, who was another one I thought played really well.
Damn it.
Sorry, buddy.
You're good.
He did come back to us, though. Unlike Grayson Murphy, he did come back to us on the practice squad. So we do have Derek McClendon and Theo Weiss Jr. On the practice squad, which I'm super pumped about.
Yeah, I mean, Theo Weiss Jr. and Derek McClendon were kind of like my hot takes for making the roster on our last show, right? I thought they were, from a Dolphins perspective, valuable assets. From an everyone else perspective, who are they, right? Which I thought was great. But since you guys already talked about them, I think the only other one I had, I mean, we lost quite a few players. I mean, shout out to Quentin Bell, Farrell Brown, Patrick McMorris was one, but the one that I thought was real interesting was Mike Hilton, the cornerback, right? Yeah. I thought for me it was I understood he lost his starting position to Marshall Jr., right? The starting slot cornerback position. But I thought his veteran leadership would have been an asset to the room, given what that room is. Now, I understand that we are in the process of, if it has not been completed yet, signing a veteran cornerback from up north in Mr. Rasul Douglas. However, I still think keeping Mike Hilton would have been a good veteran to fall back on should the rookie hit what we all know rookies hit, which is turbulence throughout their first season in the NFL.
I thought for sure they were going to pick him back up. I thought they were going to do the thing, where they let him go and then re-sign him. That way they don't have to pay him guaranteed cash.
Yeah.
They can go game by game with him, and they didn't. I was surprised.
Did he get picked up by anyone? Do you guys know?
Nope.
No. All right. Well,
I think he's done. I mean, the league has a way of pushing people out that are done.
And Anthony, you said it about him. He's like, dude, if he couldn't stick on a crappy Cincinnati defense, maybe he's not as good as we all think he is.
Yeah, that's what really. I mean, I liked Mike Hilton. I really thought he was a good addition when we signed, Artie Burns and Jack Jones and Mike Hilton, and we brought them all in. And I thought he was a good addition, but apparently he just doesn't have it left. I mean, that's the only assumption you can make without being on the inside, is that he just doesn't have any juice left.
Yeah, and Farrell Brown, got to give a shout out. I thought he was a really good blocker. I mean, that's pretty much all he did.
Yeah.
But with the player we just signed, who I'm very excited about, who I called on our last show, and in our group chats, bye. See you later, bud.
Yeah, so we signed Rasul Douglas, right, from Buffalo, another Buffalo sleeper agent,
Yep.
a la Jordan Poyer. But listen, I want to give a shout out really to Jason Marshall Jr. for winning the nickel job, fifth round pick coming in here. It's not easy to make an NFL roster, even one that's kind of missing pieces at the cornerback position. He wins the starting nickel corner position, which is a huge win for him.
Yeah, and looks confident doing it too.
Yeah, let me give myself a little toot real quick, because when we started with the preseason with him and Mike Hilton, I mentioned a couple times in a couple different streams that I really, really, really wanted Junior to take that spot. And I said I wanted to keep Mike Hilton, but I wanted Junior to earn that spot. And I was just right near the end of it, right before they did the cuts, I said something about it where I was like, man, I think they should cut Hilton instead of Junior and keep him in that starting role. He's just got the size. And
what do you like about him? What is it that he I mean, obviously he played well enough to win the job, right? But what is it to you? Because I heard you on your streams, right? What is it that really stood out for you?
There's a couple things. Well, number one, he does not miss tackles. Yeah. And being a nickelback, that's what you want. You want a guy that's going to hit hard and stick. And that's what he does. And he's got real good hands. If the ball comes his way and he's got a chance to snag that thing, he's going to do it. But he understands player responsibility, position responsibility. And if that ball comes in and it's a situation where trying to go for a pick is a bad idea, he's not going to get selfish and go for the pick. He's going to just knock it down. And that's what you want. Like, he's got the work ethic, the attitude, the size. He's perfect for that position. He just needs some time to play it. And I think this is his opportunity. I'm excited for him. Yeah. Man, I'm all amped up just talking about him.
Let's do it. So sorry, Anthony. Dirk, who's your starting three at the cornerback position?
At cornerback? Yeah. I think week one, it's probably not going to be what I want it to be. I think week one, it's going to be Storm Duck, Jack Jones, and Junior. Yeah. But what I'm thinking is going to end up happening by week three is probably going to be Rasul Douglas, Storm Duck, and Junior. And I think they're going to rotate Jack Jones. Yep. I think they're going to rotate
Duck over Jones. No kidding.
Yep, I would. And the difference between Jack Jones and Storm Duck, Jack Jones is the ball hawk, right? He goes after the balls. Anything's in the air, he's going after it, right? Storm Duck does not let anything get behind him.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's my logic is I feel like he's going to be a little bit better of a starting cornerback. Storm Duck is, and then I feel like Jack Jones is going to be very situational, but when you put him in there, he's going to do what he's supposed to do. Like, that's, I think it's going to work out either way. If it's Storm Duck or Jack Jones, I think Rasul Douglas earns a starting gig eventually once he gets familiar with the playbook. So,
yeah. Quick shout out to the chat. We got Abel joining up. What's up, 305 Gridiron and Frozen Fins fan? What's up, buddy? Thanks for joining. And look who it is. our famous commenter.
Bela Kai, I know exactly this joke he's playing for there, because that guy was on the Rich Eisen show. Key and Peele, one of the guys from Key and Peele, yeah. And he was doing that, and Lad McConkey was one of my favorites. Ladaddy, I think he called him, like Ladaddy McConkey. So good. He comes up with them so quick too. Yeah, it's great. Yeah. All right, so one not shout outs, but things I just want to mention on the cuts before we move on to our initial 53 surprises is that we finally got rid of Ezukanma and Channing Tindall. They were both cut, and neither signed to the practice squad. Ezukanma signed with the Jaguars, and I don't think Tindall signed with anybody.
Publix is hiring, so
Tindall signed with the couch.
Yeah, I saw that he was starting to advertise for Publix on LinkedIn.
Yeah,
I think he was looking for a job. Yeah,
they need a stock boy, and he'll probably fumble that too.
Yeah, he even had stock photos. He just photoshopped his head onto a white guy, though. I was like, dude, that's not how you do that. That's not how you do that.
Oh, man.
Yeah, good riddance.
Yeah, let's move on. Let's move on, boys. Everybody, let us know who the cuts you were bummed about in the chat. We mentioned quite a few people here. Quentin Bell, very quickly. We talked about, who the hell? Somebody remind me. Josh, remind me. I'm blanking.
So we talked Mike Hilton. We talked. I just closed it out. Right. We talked Derek McClendon, Grayson Murphy, Felix Jr.
Thank you.
Patrick McMorris was one that we were really shocked at.
Was anybody else surprised about Pharaoh Brown besides me?
I was. I mean, I really was at first because I thought he was kind of an 8th offensive lineman, right? I mean, he couldn't catch a cold, but
he caught one, a touchdown. Well, a 2-point conversion.
Blind squirrels are right, can find a nut every now and then, or whatever that saying is.
It took him 12 yards to make the catch.
But I thought he was a serviceable blocker. I think he was the best blocker in the tight end room. However, I can understand why you let him go when you signed the player you signed, right?
Yeah,
it makes sense.
Which we'll talk about soon, right, and now. I'm so excited. I'm so excited for that's other teams' cuts. I think technically we will talk about Greg Dulcich's signing with our practice squad a little later on. Something I was super excited to see. So let's move on to the initial 53-man roster surprises. Again, Dirk, you're going to lead them all off, buddy, so I hope you're pumped. Here you go. Initial surprises for who made the 53-man roster. You could talk about the current roster if you want, because I know there's been a lot of movement between Tuesday and today.
Not a couple of notes that I had, and I'm not going to I'll leave some of the fruit for you guys here, but
thanks.
One of them that I wasn't, notice I didn't say low hanging. I just said fruit. One of the guys that I wouldn't say it was a surprise because he played so well in preseason, but I'm overjoyed that he made the team and he made the 53 was D. Eskridge. I feel like he earned it big time, and I'm excited to see what he can do. Because first, he's not a tall receiver, but for the work that he does to go up on a ladder and get a ball, I feel like he really, really earned the spot. So D. Eskridge was the first one that really got me. And the other surprise to make the roster that I really felt should not have made the roster. So this is the opposite direction. It's Larry Borum. I feel like he didn't play as well as some of the other guys that got cut. And I feel like he probably didn't deserve to make the roster. So that's my two. One that didn't deserve it and one that definitely did.
Yeah, for Borum, I think it's hard because you invested money in him, right?
Yeah.
And you brought him in. He's not your starter. He's not supposed to be your starter.
Right.
Nor should he be a starter, right? I think he's your new Liam Eichenberg, except can play a little bit better. Right? He can play.
I almost spit out my drink.
No, but I mean, let's be honest though, right? I mean, that's what he's came in. He's the swing. He's the swing off the bench, right?
Totally. Yep.
You need him to fill in a tackle. You need him to fill in a guard. Hopefully you don't need him to fill in at center, but he can play all of them. So. My expectations for him coming into the season were really low, and I'm glad we have him on the team. I just hope to God we don't see him, because that means everyone in front of him stays healthy,
And he's going to have less work now that we had that other guy signed that we all know and love coming back.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Anthony,
oh, yeah.
What about you, buddy?
I'm sticking to the offensive line. I think Keon Smith was a big surprise to me, making the final 53 as well. Personally, I didn't think any of the backup offensive linemen should have made the team. They were atrocious. I know some of them had to, but it was hard to watch. I mean, second and third string and fourth string defensive ends were just running these guys over. I mean, it was absolutely egregious out there. I feel like you could have thrown a dart at anybody else's cuts and hit guys that were better.
There were a few of them. There were quite a few of them that I really liked.
Yeah. So, would I be surprised because I know, Dirk alluded to it. We re-signed Kendall Lamb. Would I be surprised to see Larry Borum and Keon Smith on their way out in the next couple days? No, not at all. But if we're getting away from the offensive line, because I don't want to pick on them too much, not surprised he made the roster, but was kind of hoping he wouldn't, and that's Julian Hill, aka Jillian Hill, as we would call him around here.
Yeah, we call him Jillian Hill for those of you that are new.
He
dropping him Hill.
He gets touted all the time for his blocking, and I can't help but see him whiffing on these end-around blocks all the time, so I don't know. Maybe I'm watching the wrong Miami Dolphins. Maybe there's an alternate universe where somebody else is watching a good Julian Hill, and I'm over here watching the bad one. But yeah, Julian Hill, I guess welcome to the club. He's the tight end 2 right now, sadly. I mean, he had to Tana Connor. Oh, man.
Julian Hill can only hold a block if he's got 2 handfuls of jersey. So
exactly. Yeah. I can't wait for the 39-yard A-chan run that gets called back on Julian Hill blocking on the opposite side of the field.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Sounds about right. Yeah. So for me, it was, Matthew Butler. I'm glad he stuck. Right. I was a big fan of his, but I my projection my projected 53. I didn't have him making it. He was one of my last cut. So I'm happy to see that he's back on. Same with Elijah Campbell. I thought, there were other options at other positions that I would have kept over Campbell, but I'm glad he's here because, when he's on the field, yes, he's got some cold moments, but he does produce. I'd say my biggest frustration was still keeping Kendall Lamb and Keon Smith. I'm not a fan of either of them. I understand Lamb has a back injury. I get it. Cool. But, to your point, Anthony, there were so many other options with players that were cut that I feel like could have fit our scheme a little bit better, were healthy, were productive, were more consistent. But I think my biggest one, and this is a shout out to the special teams, Jake Bailey over Stonehouse. I understand Bailey outkicked him in the preseason. I get it, but I despise Bailey with every fiber in my body. Ever since that 23-yard kick last season in a game that was quasi important. And then he just kind of shuffles off the field and he looks all dumpy. It's like, dude, go away.
It was a doozy.
So, that's Jake Bailey for me is the Skylar Thompson of the kicking room, right? He's a preseason warrior. However, in the regular season, he shanks them left and right. So, the fact that I was a big fan of Stonehouse. I mean, he led, broke an NFL record in most highest average yards per punt. I think it was 2 years ago. So he's got the talent. Maybe just had a bad preseason. I don't know, but I am not thrilled to see that man's name on our roster again.
I'm gonna have my wife make you a shirt that says "F Jake Bailey."
Yeah, and I'd wear it proudly on the podcast.
Make him another one that says Jillian Hill and has Jillian Hill dressed as a girl.
Yep.
The chat agrees with us. They're not feeling these offensive line moves here. Lamb and his back injury, not feeling it. Also with the tight end room, I don't know how Hill has made it this far. But yeah, none of us do. None of us do.
Trust us. We are not Hill fans in any way, shape, or form.
Oh, man. Absolutely nuts. So let us know in the chat, guys. Let us know in the comments if you're listening to this post-live show. Who are your initial 53-man roster surprises or your current 53-man roster surprises if that is easier to follow, which probably it is because
yeah. And I will say this, I know he's on the practice squad right now, but I think he's our starting tight end once he gets through medicals and everything. But the fact that we were able to get our hands on Dulcich, I think he's an immediate starter at tight end and an immediate difference maker in this offense. It's just one of those things where it was between him and the Jackson or the Colts. What tight end was it? God, I'm blanking on the guy's name. Hold on.
I don't have him on my list. Greg was like I starred him. I circled that. Put hearts next to his name.
The Colts.
Did Jelani get cut?
Yeah, he got cut.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah, he hasn't played in 2 years because of back-to-back injuries. I understand it. But Dulcich and Woods were my two kind of, oh my God, I hope we at least go after one of them. And the fact that we signed Greg Dulcich, I think is going to make trading Jonnu Smith obsolete. Like, who?
Yeah. I mean, we don't know if we're going to see Darren Waller. So,
right.
And I really hope that it's not Tanner Connor, Julian Hill going out there in the two tight end sets when we start on in just a few weeks time here. Goodness, please don't.
Well, even if we have Julian not make it, not work out, and if we have Darren Waller not work out, we do also have Hayden Rucci on the practice squad too.
No, we don't.
Go.
And
yeah, we do.
No, we do. But so what?
He's Hall of Fame material, bro.
Okay, get out. It was nice having you on the show. All right, guys, catch him next time.
Taylor loves Hayden Rucci too. It was like it was like going on a whole rant when we cut Hayden Rucci. I was like, "What do you love about this? It's a fourth tight end." What is that?
I don't have an opinion either way on him. I was just doing it just to poke a little.
His zero career catches is really appealing.
Yeah. Oh, and you know who else I cannot believe we made it through this whole segment about surprises and did not talk about is Cam Smith staying on this roster. I understand.
Who's Cam Smith?
It only lasted for a day.
I know. He's still on the roster. He's just on injury reserve.
Cam who?
We didn't waive him.
Yeah.
But how does I don't know. It's these kind of things that make me want to punch Greer in the throat.
He's on the NFI list though, so I have a feeling there was some stuff going on, and I thought that especially if it's mental health, cutting a guy who's having mental health issues would not work out well. So I think this is more of a carefully curated decision than a
CYA move, right?
Yeah, like it's more for his health than for the team, I think. And you know,
that's fair.
So he'll be out for the year on the NFI though.
That's fair.
Yeah. So that's our initial 53-man roster surprises. I don't know that there was that many surprises. We had to cherry pick this a little bit, but the team, I think the one that you mentioned, Josh, was the biggest surprise. I actually didn't even catch that he made the team. Matthew Butler there, a defensive end. Completely missed it. Completely read over his name. Like,
he was your dude.
Butler. Yeah.
He was your guy.
No. Grayson Murphy was my guy.
I thought you liked Butler too on the when we were doing our projections. All right, my bad.
Yeah, wrong. I did a wrong stamp. All right, let's move on. We're going to talk strengths and weaknesses of the roster, where it sits right now. Let's start off with the strengths. Dirk, we'll go Frozen Fin fan. Start off with the strengths of the roster as you see it.
Strength of the roster. I'll take one from offense, and then I'll pass. That way you guys can get some in too.
Sure.
Obviously, I think one of the biggest strengths on our offense is wide receiver. It has to be. I mean, any of those guys we could plug in any position, and they would rock it. I even all the way down to our practice squad. I love our wide receiver room, including, we didn't mention him, but AJ Henning got picked back up too.
The
practice squad. And that's, AJ Henning, Theo Weiss, both on the practice squad. Those guys, those guys could make the team on a lot of teams. I'm telling you, like, our wide receiver room is stacked.
Absolutely.
Honestly, if Henning doesn't lose that fumble, I think he makes the team.
Yeah,
I do too.
Agreed.
Yep.
Agreed.
It was just such an egregious play. There was no way they could be like, you're going to be on a 53-man roster after that. Josh, I'll let you go first before I jump in here.
Yeah, I actually have two. I have one on offense and one on defense. I think our running back room, when fully healthy, our running back room as it stands now with our top two, but I think even Jalen Wright, for all of his struggles in the preseason, you look top down, you got Achane, who obviously I think is a top 7 running back in the league. You have Ollie Gordon, who I was a massive fan of coming out of college. I was a massive fan of in college. And had he come out 2 years ago, I genuinely believe he would have been a top 15 first round pick. He has that kind of talent. And you saw the flashes in preseason. And I think if he can continue to work on pass blocking, this dude's it would be a phenomenal pick for us. And the fact that we got him in the 5th or 6th round, I can't remember.
6th round, yeah.
Off the top of my head, is an absolute steal. And Jalen Wright, I'm still a big fan of. I still am. I know he struggled, but I believe he is due for a bounce back. I do think right now, as it currently stands, he is RB3, even if he was healthy.
Yeah.
I think Ollie Gordon proved and worked his ass off to get to that RB2 spot, and rightfully so, right? And if and when Ollie hits the rookie wall, if he does, then Jalen Wright is right there to hopefully step in. And the other one and I don't really care about
before you jump to the next one, I do want to say that I think perhaps this puts Wright in a better position to succeed. I think we brought him in and we were trying to make him this bruiser that he just wasn't capable of being at the NFL level. Perhaps he was it at college, but he's got speed. And he's a bigger frame than Achane. So maybe this gives him the opportunity to be more of a speed runner than a power back. He's been consistently put in the position to get like 3rd and 1 and hasn't been able to do it. Largely offensive line issues, I feel like, but he hasn't helped either. So I'm hopeful that this kind of, when he gets back, which we're hearing now, it'll be a couple weeks out. When he gets back, hopefully this gives him a different light to be seen from,
And you gotta like Jeff Wilson Jr. too. You gotta like having him.
We don't have to like it.
No, yeah, you do.
We don't have to.
You do. Shame on you both.
I would have rather traded for Mostert.
Yeah.
This was a freebie,
given up a pick.
This was a freebie. This was somebody that knows the offense, and he can.
There
still
were
punch.
so many other running backs that I wanted, like a Banacana or whatever.
Martinez.
Akers, Martinez. Yep. Like, let's just list off all the young running backs who were available, and we took 83-year-old Jeff Wilson.
Hey, who was the other guy we signed? Who was on? I'm blanking on his name. That we signed from. He was. With
JaMycal Hasty was the other running back.
Yeah, he's JaMycal Hasty. Come on, that's what you. Those are the two that you settle on. Like, there are so many names. Frank Gore Jr. Like, really? Like that's what you settle on.
The Jermichael Hasty one was a little weird for me. I didn't really see that one coming.
No, exactly. But I think to your point, Anthony, Jalen Wright really is more of a Devon Achane light than he is an Ollie Gordon light, if that makes sense, right? Because you look at their body sizes, to your point. Ollie Gordon's 6'2", 225.
Huge. Yeah, he's
right?
huge.
I mean, that's massive.
Yeah.
But anyway, so the other one I have is the depth at linebacker. Our linebacking core is, I mean, I don't want to wax poetic here, and I know people are going to comment, tell me how full of crap I am, and maybe it's just because I'm a Dolphins fan, but I think our linebacker core as a whole, so taking into account our starters and our depth, is probably a top 3, top 4 in the league, in my opinion.
I don't think you're wrong.
Yeah, I mean, it is from the top down. I mean, in no specific order: KJ Britt, Jordan Brooks, Bradley Chubb, Terrell Dotson, Willie Gay Jr., Cameron Good, Matthew Judon, Jordan Phillips, Chop Robinson. I mean, you got speed, you have power, you have vet, you have young, you have legs, you have height, you have weight. I mean, you have it all. I'm very excited to see what our front seven does this year.
I just hope that one point during the season, during a game, we can actually hear Willie Gay Jr. scream at the top of his lungs.
Yep.
Like he does at practice. I want to hear that in game.
I think we will.
Oh man, it'll be so
maybe
cool.
they'll let KJ Britt sing the national anthem too. I don't know if you guys saw that.
No, I'm all set on that. That was nails on the chalkboard. Thank you very much.
I was going to mention the front seven as well. I think, those guys that Josh just mentioned mixed with our big boys up front and Benito Jones and Kenneth Grant and Zach Sealer is up there too. And then we got the late round boys, Zeke Biggers and Jordan Phillips, who both made the team with ease, which is surprising for a 5th and a 7th round pick. I think the front seven is incredibly good. I also think that everybody is so down on Tua this year. Mm-hmm. And I really think quarterback is still a strength, and maybe that's my homerism coming out. I mean, I've been hypercritical. I know everybody's new to the show because the show's new, so they haven't yet seen me probably talk about Tua. I've been hypercritical of Tua. I have not been like the hugest Tua fan in the world, but I feel like I always need to swing the pendulum back the other way and knock some sense into people. Like he had 2023, he was amazing, and people were like, "Oh my God, maybe he's a Hall of Famer." I'm like, "Whoa, let's bring it back," right? And now last year we have a down year because he's out. He misses a few games. Tyreek is hurt. Waddle's hurt, of course. Everybody's freaking hurt. Offensive line is in shambles, and he goes the other way. So everybody's like, Tua's trash. I always knew it. It's like, whoop, let's bring it back again, right? Let's bring it to the center. I think Tua is in the top 12 of the quarterback position in the NFL, and to me, that's a strength. Because I think you need a quarterback to win in this league. I think that's been made pretty evident. Sure. I've seen a lot of criticisms. I've seen, that he's not a timing passer. He's a spot passer, whatever the hell that means.
Every quarterback in the NFL is a spot passer.
Exactly. That's why they practice it. Listen, he makes some of the most insane throws that I've ever seen from anybody. And when you hear other quarterbacks talk about him, it's always with high praise. So if you're not going to believe the other quarterbacks of the league, the Hall of Famers, the Kurt Warners and Tom Brady's and all these guys talk so positively about Tua, who are you going to believe? I think at that point, it's just like you have a negative connotation of the guy. You don't like him for some reason. Mm-hmm. I still think quarterback is a strength. I also realize that if he doesn't perform this year, he's probably gone. But I still...
Yes.
Listen. I had an open mic night a few days ago on my channel, and there was a guy that came in and he hated Tua.
Oh man, dude, I wish I would have been on that show.
You should have heard some of the stuff he was saying. Holy cow.
Let me tell you something. I would have destroyed. Oh man, because I am a Tua guy. So I'm not a blind Tua follower. I'm not a blind Tua guy. I'm not like, he can do no wrong. I believe in accountability, but
he was claiming that Tua fell out of the shower and hurt his hip instead of getting it hurt in the Houston game, and
he has injury issues for sure.
He does. But he was serious. He was saying it was from a shower.
Listen, and the Tua love plays into my next point, the next strength for me, which is the starting offensive line. I think Chris Greer and company did an incredible job rebuilding this line. Patrick Paul looks great. Austin Jackson's back and healthy. Brewer in the middle is great. The guards are still questionable, right? Daniels, can he come back from the injury? Savanaia is a rookie. Can he step up, right? But with the 3 pieces around him, I feel super comfortable with. Let's not talk about the depth yet. I think that's good for next segment. But the starting offensive line, I think is probably the best we've had since we had, what was that, 2 years ago, 3 years ago with Robert Hunt and all those guys that we didn't re-sign.
I mean, I've said it on this show, Anthony. I've said it in our group chat. I think this is the best offensive line we had in almost. We have put on the field close to a decade. I don't think it's real close.
It's certainly the best that this regime has put together after years of saying that the offensive line is not that important.
Yeah, we're worried about it more than we. Yeah. Okay.
They're finally worried about it, guys.
Yeah. Yet somehow we still have Sam Smith and Kendall Lamb on the roster, but hey, whatever. It's cool.
It took getting to year 4 to start worrying about it, but they're finally worried about it.
Maybe in 4 more years they'll do something serious. Who knows?
Lots of people in the chat here, guys. Let me know, guys and girls. Let me know what are your strengths of the team right now. Anything that we didn't mention? I'm sure there is. I'm sure we could talk all day about the strengths of the team, but we have to get to the more fun segment, which is the weaknesses of the team. Maybe it's not more fun for everybody, but
before we do that, can we just give a little bit of dap really quick to the special teams?
Yeah, go for it, dude.
The coaching for special teams has done a fantastic job so far this year. Mm-hmm. I know the season hasn't started, but they're doing a wonderful job on special teams. We are seeing a lot more crisp, a lot better blocking, better tackling. Like, special teams is a strength now from being the worst special teams in the league by far.
Yeah, well, in preseason, our average, from a special team standpoint, our average starting position was our 48, and we held the opposing team to their an average of their starting 26. So, I mean, almost a 20-yard difference, which is great.
Yeah, I think Elijah Campbell's a huge part of that. I mean, that's the reason he makes this team every year, not for his safety play, for his special teams play. One of the best special team players in the league, I think.
Yep. And
question.
And D'Eskridge.
Oh, D'Eskridge too. Yeah, from the offensive side of the special teams. Elijah more from the defensive side of the special teams. Great question here. Thoughts on the new kicker? We did sign Riley Patterson to the practice squad, who we can only assume is going to be filling in for Sanders as he sits out for
6 weeks.
4 to 6 weeks. Yeah, he's on IR, so the minimum 4 weeks, and then he gets, that whole process. So Riley Patterson has jumped around the league a lot since 2021. I played for Minnesota, New England, Detroit, Jacksonville. I'm not going to go through the whole list. Most recently, he played for Atlanta, who signed him from the Cleveland practice squad back in December, so mid-season signing. We recently signed him to the practice squad. Any thoughts on Riley Patterson filling in here?
Yeah. Go ahead, Dirk. Sorry.
Okay. I was just going to say he struggles outside of 45. It's well documented. I would say that if we can just keep him inside of 40, 42 yards for field goals, he'll do just fine. But he's not the guy that we can expect to make 50, 55-yard field goals like Sanders does. So,
yeah.
Yeah, I think, for me, I mean, his career field goal percentage is 85%, 85.1, I think is what it is. And I just looked it up. His career extra point percentage is 96.5. And the longest field goal of his career is 53 yards. So I think, Dirk, that speaks to exactly what you said. Keep him under 50 and he'll be okay. The problem is we liked having that little chit in the back of our pocket with Sanders, where we're like, oh crap, it's 3 and out, and we're on the 40 of the other. We're on the other 40, and he would just kick it right down that.
Maybe he just needs an elite holder like Jake Bailey to come in and help him out.
I'm busy.
You're gonna give Josh an aneurysm.
A little vein is starting to twist.
Oh man, I don't really understand this signing. I mean, Dustin Hopkins got cut. You go with Riley Patterson. That makes no sense to me. I mean, wait a second. Look around the league. See who gets cut before you make a stupid signing like this. We'll see what happens. I mean, let's hope that if it is Patterson, we don't have any 50-plus yarders we're relying on to win a game.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, his only claim to fame really is he made 10 consecutive field goals.
Good for him. That's what you should do as a kicker. That's your one job.
Yeah, don't miss.
Abel up in here saying he's got to eat crow. Everybody was down on Danny Crossman. You are not wrong, sir. I heard Josh speak very ill of this man.
Oh, Danny Crossman isn't our special teams coach.
No, he's not. Yeah, we have a new one.
Yeah, so I'm not eating crow at all.
He's not eating crow. He's still very down on Danny Crossman.
Crossman sucked.
Yeah, he was Crossman's gone. I forgot. Was it Armstrong? What's the guy's name? I forgot his name.
Knows? I mean, nobody's going to remember even if you look it up.
I remember 3/4 of the way through last season, he had a press conference and and they asked him about what he thought of his special teams. And at this point, they were not only the worst special teams in the NFL, but they were the worst special teams in the last 8 years.
Yeah,
and
9
in the NFL. And he looked dead into the camera, pan-faced, and said, "Yeah, they're doing pretty well." And I was just like, at that point, I was just like, "Yep, you're done. Nope, this guy's a freaking moron. He shouldn't even be near a football field."
So it's Craig Aukerman and Ronnie Bradford now. Yeah. So we kind of have two.
Aukerman's from Tennessee. That's where he came from.
Yeah. He's got what? He's got 26 years in coaching. 16 of those are in the NFL as a special teams coordinator. So
hey, speaking of weaknesses like Danny Crossman, what about the weaknesses on this roster?
Oh, yeah.
Frozen Fin fan, let's start with you, buddy. Where is the biggest weakness on this Miami Dolphins roster?
Weakness on the Miami Dolphins roster. I'll leave the fruit for you guys.
No, take it. You're the guest. The fruit is all yours, sir.
Well, since I'm an ex tight end / lineman, I'm gonna go ahead and lay it out. Our front five on offense are my concern, mainly just because of what's going to happen if somebody gets hurt. It's the offensive line. People are never going to make it all 17 games through a regular season. All 5 of them, someone's going to get hurt. And that's my concern, is when we bring in a Larry Borum, are we instantly introducing a crack on that offensive line, or are we bringing somebody in that's going to toe the line? And I'm a little concerned right now about that. I mean, I could be proven wrong, but right now that's one of my biggest concerns on this team.
So you're not down on the starters. You're just down on the it sounds like you're down on the depth.
Not necessarily. A lot of people are down on Jonah, saying he's messing up a lot. It's like, well, he's a freaking rookie, duh. And he's learning the other side of the offensive line. And I don't care who you are. If you've ever played one single down of football, especially if you're an offensive lineman, if you have to go to the other side of the line, that is harder than changing positions. That's worse, because you have to change your first step. And if you're so used to making a first step with one foot or pushing off with one foot, you have to change that for the other side.
I came on your show and we talked about, it was a live call-in show that you had on your channel. And we talked about that. We talked about how it's like wiping your ass with the other hand. It's just not comfortable.
Yeah, it's hard.
It's going to take some time.
So, yeah, I'm okay with the starting 5. It's just the depth. That's my weakness.
It's atrocious.
Yeah.
Other weaknesses, I think depth in general on this team is an enormous weakness. Now, Josh talked about the front 7, which I think is one of the few spots we actually have solid depth. But I'm looking at quarterback, the current running back situation, tight end is atrocious, offensive line, like cornerback position, let's not even talk about it. I think 1 or 2 major injuries will cripple the team, right? Especially if it's Tua again. I don't think, last year we talked about they have to do a better job of getting a backup quarterback in here. And then they signed Zach Wilson and they draft Quinn Ewers in the 7th round. Like, what is that? I don't think they did a sufficient job at backup quarterback. I think the tight end room is an afterthought. They were like, let's get Darren Waller. What the hell does that mean? I think Greg Dulcich, if he gets promoted to the active roster, like we think he should,
massive upgrade.
I think he's much better than anybody we have. And then the corner room, man. I think the top 3 might be better than I think most Dolphins fans are expecting. I think Storm Duck is another year in. Jason Marshall Jr. wins the nickel job. Jack Jones is serviceable enough that he could probably hold up a receiver while the front 7 does its job. But behind them, man, it's not looking great, right? So behind them, we have Ethan Bonner's hurt. We claimed Juju Brents from Indianapolis. We have
practiced today.
He practiced today. Great.
Ethan Bonner did.
Oh, Ethan Bonner did? Great. And then we have Rasul Douglas, who we just signed. That's it. That's all we got.
Brents. Juju.
I just mentioned him. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, what about Juju?
We brought in Juju just to spy on the Colts. He's going to be cut immediately after the game.
What about Juju?
Exactly. You're right. There's not much there. That's the concern.
Yeah. So sorry if I took a bunch of them.
No, you're good, dude. Honestly, I think I think irregardless, it's very well known what our weaknesses are, right? I want to spend a little bit of time on, and this might be surprising, but I think the safety room too, right? I'm a huge fan of some of our safeties. Minka, amazing, right? I think he's going to have a hell of a bounce back year. I genuinely believe that to my core. Fatu Melifonwu is one of my favorite players. coming out of Syracuse. I was a huge fan of his 5 years ago. I was a big fan of his on Detroit. But after that, I mean, I know Ashton Davis was injured for most of the preseason. He finally practiced today, I think, or maybe it was yesterday. So he's a day or two in, which is great. But outside of that, I mean, outside of Minka and Melifonwu, none of them give me any sort of confidence whatsoever. I do believe that Ashton Davis is probably better than 85% of our cornerbacks, in my opinion. So we should see more 3 safety formations, 3 safety sets, if you will. But yeah, I don't know. I was hoping that we would claim another safety as well. Like there are some that are out there that are okay or better than, and not to shade Dante Trader Jr., but he made some plays as a rookie. I understand he's a rookie, but that could come back and bite us because Minka has been battling injuries right over the last couple of years in Pittsburgh. Fatu Melifonwu came in injured. Ashton Davis was injured until yesterday. So it's like, I have no faith, to your point, Dirk, about the offensive line. I have no faith that our starting 3 are going to be healthy for the whole year. Hope to God I'm wrong, knock on wood, right? And we're good. But if Minka Fitzpatrick goes down, dude, we better score 70 points a game.
Yeah. And if
you know what I mean?
If you look at our cornerbacks, we only really have one nickelback. And the only thing that I see them doing is sliding Ashton Davis into the nickel when they need a break for junior. So like I said, it's not a lot of depth there.
Yeah. You guys aren't excited for the Elijah Campbell and Dante Trader Jr. starting rotation at safety? No,
I'm busy that day. Hopefully.
I mean, if the safety room gets as hurt as it did last year, we could legitimately be looking at it, which is terrifying.
Yeah, I know.
It's terrifying. Oh, man. I don't really know what to expect from the team. Now that we've talked strengths and weaknesses, I know we're not talking really expectations. We did that. We'll do that show next week. But goodness, man, this team could be surprisingly good or really awful.
Yeah, or in your case, on the schedule prediction show, you had us right middle of the pack.
9-8. Let's go.
9-8. I had us at 10-7.
Yeah.
I said that we're not going to be what we were last year. I can guarantee that. It's either going to be really good or it's going to be really bad. Yeah. I'm leaning towards this is going to be a better team than last year.
Agreed.
But there is that chance.
Things that you hear coming out of camp, right? I'm plugged into, and this isn't a flex, but I'm plugged into some folks that are Miami Dolphins media that text me on the side, tell me some info. And this was widely reported all over the internet, that after practice, there was like something like 32 odd players were staying back to do different drills, position drills, work on their craft, simulated game scenarios and stuff like that. None of that ever happened last year. They were
the years before.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And this, I will say, for as many holes as this team has, and there are some black eyes on this team, there are also shiny, fun things on this team, which we talked about earlier. And I think the shiny, fun things, it's a really shitty way of saying that, but the shiny, fun things are if they hit, should cover up a lot of the black eyes, in my opinion, right? If our front 7 is what we all think it's going to be, our cornerbacks and safeties are only going to need to cover for 3 seconds. That's it. Under 4 seconds at worst. It's
really hard to estimate what this team's going to be. I just did a quick look at the depth chart. I counted 12 new starters between last year and this year. That's an insane number of new starters. And how do you know what the team's going to be like if you haven't seen these guys work together before?
True story.
Good point here. That the front 7 is going to be really, really good. I think it's going to surprise a lot of people. Yeah.
I mean, I'm thinking our front 7 might be top 3 in this league. I mean, I really do.
3 of that 4 starting rotation has to stay healthy, though, for that to come to fruition. I think Judon was a great addition, too.
Oh, my God, yeah.
All right, let us know. What are your strengths and weaknesses of the Miami Dolphins going into the 2025 season? We start in less than 2 weeks, guys. About just a little over a week, actually.
That's crazy.
Until we start Miami Dolphins football against Indianapolis Colts. Before we go, though,
until the content writes itself.
Yeah, buddy. That's the greatest part of the year. So one more topic before we go ahead and kick off for the night, and not death-wise, just leaving the show. Other teams' cuts to keep an eye on. We talked about Greg Dulcich a lot. He got cut by the Giants in a surprise move. We got him on the practice squad somehow, which I'm completely surprised by. Other things we've already done is Juju whatever from the Colts. Brents is his last name.
Whatever is his middle name.
Whatever is his middle name, correct.
Yep, that guy. Yep.
We a few other ones. Who are we looking at here? We got JaMychal Hasty, we already talked about, right? Jeff Wilson Jr., we already talked about. Any other guys on other teams that have been cut? And I won't fault you if you didn't know they've been signed yet, because there's guys on my list I have no idea if they've been signed. So I'm just going to name them in hopes that they haven't. And Frozen, we'll start with you, buddy. Any guys you're looking at from the other teams that you're like, oh, I'd love to have him on this roster?
At this point, I'm gonna, and I know this is gonna sound weird, but I really don't. The couple that I had kind of tacked on my wall, they got picked up. Mainly Damian Martinez was a big one for me, and he's gone. There was a couple more, but they've been picked up. So now I'm at this point where I'm looking at this team and I'm like, all right, just stop changing it. I want to see what it turns out to be. That's kind of where I'm at now. I for the most part, I'm happy. Even, at quarterback, I'm way happier with what we have this year than what we've had the last 3 years. We got rid of the Hall of Fame preseason quarterback. Thank goodness. I feel like the order is slightly off. I feel like Quinn Ewers should be number 2 personally, but I'm happy with the team the way it is, and I want to see how it performs. We have some time into the season to add players. So I feel like at this point, a smart move would be to sit on that $15 million that we have in cap space, or 17 or whatever it is, and see what this team does for the first 4 weeks.
Well, after the slew of moves, I can report today that our cap space, I believe, is only at 5 and change.
Boo. Okay, fine. Yep. 5 million. Definitely need to sit pat then for now.
For me, I have a few. I have 3. Right. So from a running back standpoint, and I'm assuming, Anthony, it was okay that I just jumped in there. Sorry.
Yeah, you're good.
For me, it was a toss up. I wanted to just focus on one running back, but I like Israel Benakana and I like Frank Gore Jr. Right. And I think if I was going to sign one of them, Frank Gore Jr. got released from Buffalo, kind of natural ties to Miami, as we all know. When his dad came in on one leg and half a foot and still, got us 3rd and 1s, 4th and 1s like it was his job. Like to see him get in there because it's a body type that we don't have, right? I mean, we have somebody that's big and heavy in Ollie Gordon, but he's a rookie. The other player that I really, really had my fingers crossed for, outside of Dulcich, who was my number 1, this is the guy I need. We need this guy on our team, is Cole Strange from New England. He was their first rounder a couple years ago. Crazy situation that went on over there. They tried to move him around a lot. They didn't let him settle in. It's the Patriots. So, they were a dumpster fire up until this past off season. And I think he fits our zone scheme perfectly, right? Perfectly. And it would allow us to kind of maybe get rid of some of the noise that we have on the back end of our roster. And I really do think that he had the talent coming out of college. You can't help but you're drafted. I understand that. But he was a first rounder for a reason, right? And a change of scenery, some new coaching. I mean, look what we did with Patrick Paul. Now imagine if we could translate that into yet another what was a first round pick in Cole Strange. I really do think he would have made the difference or make a difference. And my last guy is Dante Jackson, cornerback cut by Buffalo. I think he could walk in right now and be CB3 on
That's
our roster.
Good one. That's a good one.
Right. Those are just, I don't know if Dante Jackson or Cole Strange or Frank Gore has been signed. So to your point, Anthony, I apologize if they already have, but those were kind of the names that I was keeping my eye on. And I'm very excited about Greg Dulcich. I've said it 1,500 times on this podcast already. But yeah, I think he's going to come in once he's ready, once he passes his medicals and everything, he'll be good to go.
I have no idea how Beanie Bishop Jr. made it through waivers. How?
Oh yeah.
7 passes defense, 4 interceptions last year.
Oh, yeah.
He gets through waivers, and he signs on the Pittsburgh Steelers practice squad. How does anybody let that happen? Absolutely would be a guy that I would be happy with signing off their practice squad. I mean, we need a corner. Let's make it happen. That one shocked me. I think it shocked Steelers fans, just judging by the reactions on Reddit and the like of the internet. I honestly can't believe he was cut, and I and then 2 days later when he went unclaimed, I was even more shocked. Don't understand that one. Other guys I would have loved to take a look at. Actually, these two guys both signed with the Eagles practice squad. Of course they did. Kenyon Green, the guard, and running back Audric Estime. I love both those guys. They both signed with the Eagles practice squad. Kill me. And then the only other one that I really felt strongly about potentially adding was Jalen Mills. He got cut by the Texans, surprisingly enough. And it looks like he is actually still a free agent. So, if he's got anything left in the tank, I hyper focus on offensive linemen and corners really during the cut season. So that's why most of my guys are from those positions. But yeah,
honestly, I wouldn't be opposed to bringing Farrell Brown back too on our practice squad. I mean, for tight end depth, because he was a very good blocker. He couldn't do anything else, but he knows the scheme.
So make him a swing tackle then. All right. Anybody else that you guys saw? I know, Frozen. You want to see the roster as it is. I don't. I'm scared. But
me too.
We can't lose to Indy. We can't. We're going.
No, I don't.
I'll tell you what. I think it's gonna be a tight game until like the fourth quarter, and then we're gonna see this team take off. I really do think so. I forgot.
Danny Dime's gonna Danny Dime. Don't worry, guys.
I think Tyreek needs to get off to a hot start. Get him involved early and often. I know that they're not trying to pamper him. Tua's come out and said some pretty strong things like, hey, you can't just say that, right? And then act like everything's going to be okay. But on the field, all the emotional after the field incidents aside, he's still our best player. So let's get him involved, because last year I honestly agreed with some of what he said. How are you not getting your best guy involved? Giving up in a Jets game, there's still no excuse for that, but I saw where the frustration was coming from, and I agree with the frustration in that. Get the guy the ball. He is such a good playmaker with the ball in his hands. All you need to do is get it to him. So I would love to see that early and often.
Yeah, I agree. I think this team needs to settle down, needs to go back to what it was good at, and stop with. I'm hoping Mike McDaniel learned from last year, where he was very much kind of trying to over engineer his mad scientist concoction, right? Yeah. It's like, stop with the third and long screen passes, like just knock it off and play football. Put your best 11 men on the field and just let them play football. You are paying them a shitload of money to play a sport. Let them play that sport. Yeah. They are good at what they do. We have a lot of good players. And, you can see on the defense, that's exactly what Weaver did. He's like, all right, I'm just going to let you do what you do. And look at Chop, right? I mean, I was very down on Chop the first quarter of the season last year. Man, that crow tasted delicious, right? And I really hope that Mike McDaniel gets out of his own way, learned from his mistakes, and learned to not be stubborn in his play calling, learn to adjust and kind of shift focus. And what is working? Okay, the run is working today. We're going to run it 400 times. I'm going to run it down your throat until you stop it. And once you stop it, I'm going to play action and I'm going to toss 70 yards to Tyreek Hill. We stopped doing that last year. And I just want to see this team get back to it.
No. I mean, they gave up on the run for the bubble screen. I would take Joe Philbin back just so I never had to see a bubble screen again.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. Those are the emotions speaking.
I'm an emotional guy. You can't blame it. All right, Frozen Man, tell the people where they can find you.
You can find me over on Frozen Fin Fan, just like it sounds, one word, over on YouTube here on YouTube. During the regular season, I do a preview and a recap of every game. I usually live stream at least the second half of every game. Every Tuesday, I do an open mic night for people to jump in and chat with me about Dolphins football and any other football. And I think that's just about it.
Yeah, really. If you guys have not gone and checked him out, he puts on a hell of a show. I join it live sometimes, and if not, I'm in the chat constantly. Very, very good product. Really, go give him a like, go give him a follow, go give him a sub. We're small podcast trying to support small podcasts here.
Absolutely. Thank you again so much, Frozen, for joining us tonight.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
We covered
Anytime.
so much, dude. We covered the Deep Waters jerseys and all the other jerseys, really, from the rivalries jersey segment. Cuts that we're bummed about, initial 53-man surprises, strengths and weaknesses, and the other team's cuts that we would love to see add to our roster. So if you have anything to say about any of those topics, please hit us up in the comments below. We read them all. We comment on them all. We love them all. So we hope to interact with you in the chat later on. For those of you who joined us in the chat today, thank you so much. Big shout out to Balakai, Abel, and Finn Spin for joining us over here in the chat. You guys are the real heroes of this podcast. So until next time, which is our next show previewing the game for real?
It is.
Our next show.
Yep. Our next show is previewing week 1 football, baby.
I cannot believe it. So we are talking real football next time, previewing Colts Dolphins week 1. NFL season is here. I got 3 fantasy drafts this weekend. I can't freaking wait.
Yes.
Let's go, boys. All right. That's all for tonight, though. Love you guys much. Appreciate all the support, and we'll see you next time.